Good evening, good morning. Welcome to Rico's Lounge. We up in here once again. I'm shooting a video back to back. It's kind of a back to back day. I want to start off by thanking my supporters. The short, thank you for the support on that. So I want to give a big shout out to everybody supporting me in my journey. And this is an ongoing journey. But what I want to talk about tonight, one of the things I want to talk about tonight, and it's probably not going to be something long, something crazy. I'm just talking a little shit up in here. Is how is my politics being booked like a WWE WrestleMania 40? You know, so for people that don't necessarily know me, I mean, the majority of my supporters know me in regular life, if you will. They know I'm a huge wrestling fan. Even right now, I got the old school Bloodline shirt, you know. So, so what I mean by that my politics is being booked like a WWE match card, if you will. Like a lot of people joke about how wrestling is fake. I like to tell people storyboard. So, just gonna give a little quick background if you're not into wrestling, if you will, like that. So, wrestling is what's called being predetermined, if you will. So, in other words, they know who's going to win the match at like a certain pay per view. So, for an example, let's say like this past WrestleMania, they knew that Cody Rhodes was going to win the championship, but they don't tell you exactly how to do it. They tell you like, this is your end goal. How you guys get there is up to you. And but excuse me, some people may know the show Curb Your Enthusiasm, which had a similar setup. So there was no real script to Curb Your Enthusiasm. It was storyboard, which that term just means that they had a goal, and when it's up to the actors to achieve the goal. So wrestling is kind of based the same way. So why did I say why is my politics being booked like a WrestleMania match card, if you will? Because you got the attempted deletion of Donald Trump. That's almost similar to the Cody Rhodes storyline. Like, gotta finish the story because at one point he had the championship because the president actually represents the championship. If you want to put similarities into the situation, so therefore Trump had the championship. He lost the match to Biden, so therefore he's climbing back to the top of the mountain. But all these things are in the way or not in the way, and this is not whether you're a Trump supporter or not. That's not the angle I'm coming from. I'm just talking about when you step back and looking at it, almost like I said in wrestling, when you look at it from a booking standpoint, it's kind of like, okay, he lost the championship. Now you got to start all over and climb back to the top of the mountain. And all the obstacles he has in the way, these are just like other wrestlers that he's fighting to reach the number one contendership to become the champion or whatever said championship that's in wrestling, in WWE, if you will. And then what inspired me to do this video tonight was, I'm scrolling through because I'm coming off the little high of the short I did with Nora Smith. So I'm like, yo, I want to do some different type of shorts, whatever. So I'm scrolling through. I come across a picture on Facebook. So they turned around and put Kamala Harris's face on CM Punk. Now, side note, people that know me, they know CM Punk is one of my favorite wrestlers. So obviously, seeing that, it brought my attention. But the caption that they put was, "She's cashing in. She's cashing in." So in other words, most people that don't know, there's a concept called Money in the Bank. So in the wrestling world, how that work is, they have a match every year, and they put a briefcase that's hung over the top of the ring, and the objection is for the wrestlers to fight each other with ladders and everything, and climb the ladder and get the money in the bank briefcase. So when you have the money in the bank briefcase, the whole purpose is at any time you have a shot at the championship, no matter what, no matter what it is, you have a shot at the championship. So now if you want to put the similarities, if you will, Biden as president, he is technically the champion, if you will. That's in wrestling terminology. So in other words, Trump is trying to be the number one contender. But because everything that went on, that he dropped out the race, that Biden dropped out the race and everything else like that, it's kind of like the championship is kind of up for grabs. So when I saw that picture, I actually understood it, but I think the majority of the people will not understand what that means with the money in the bank briefcase. So in other words, depending on how they book this, if you will, that that Kamala Harris could probably be president before November. The way that this whole situation happened, that's the similarity of Money in the Bank, cashing in, winning the championship. Because usually when people use the Money in the Bank, they use it when the champion is at the weakest point or the lowest point where they had an exhausting match. They had like a fatal four way or whatever, and the fatal four way is just four wrestlers fighting over one championship, no disqualification, no rules or anything like that. First person pinned or submitted is the winner. So, with that being said, it's like Kamala Harris is cashing in on Joe Biden with all the stuff going on, and she could potentially be president before November. Listen, at this point, I don't feel one way or the other. So, you got that. And then there was some breaking news where the Secret Service director, she resigned or something like that. I didn't get a chance to actually watch the whole thing, but I know it's something she pretty much either quit, got fired, whatever the case may be, which is almost like another storyline, if you will. So I'm really starting to believe that art imitates life. You know, like that. How can I word this? That we don't know what the outcome is, and this is all crazy. I know everybody's scrambling. You know, people want to see the first black female president. My personal opinion is she's not black. She made that clear. You just have to do your history. Most people, they don't like to do their history. You know, they want to be talking too nice, and they want to be sold a story, just like in wrestling. So it's crazy how majority of people don't like wrestling, but all the stuff that's going on is similar to wrestling storylines. So I think there should be more wrestling fans than anything. And I jokingly said to myself earlier tonight that I said, damn, if I was Triple H, I need to hire these political strategists, because even though wrestling has made a turnover and has done a good thing, these political strategists, their writing is crazy. Their writing is great. Like you can't even make this stuff up. And if you want to take the Kamala Harris situation in a different route, it's kind of like, you know, like I said, I'm not taking one side or the other right now, because I'm just talking about the similarities of things. It's kind of like the Democrats booked themselves into a corner, because if you understand the rules and regulations on how things work, in order to get a nomination, you got to have like a primary and all of that stuff. So all of the stuff is happening at the last minute. So if they don't give Kamala Harris the nod, they're racist. But then again, nobody else has an opportunity to potentially be a runner for the Democrat Party. So it's like they kind of booked themselves into a corner, because that's a term that's used in wrestling when certain storylines happen and you put, like, let's say a wrestler that has great momentum versus another wrestler that has a great momentum as well, and you put them in the ring or you make them fight. It's kind of like, how do you have an outcome that makes everybody look strong and makes everybody look better and makes everybody look fair? See? Sounds familiar? Exactly. So, you know, with that, they got to figure that out. I don't know how that's going to play out. So that's what I'm saying. You have that storyline with the Democrat Party. You have Trump trying to reclaim the championship once again. if you will. So it's just a crazy time. This is a real crazy time. A lot of people are divided. You even in the black community, because not for nothing, the majority of black women are gonna vote for Kamala Harris just because she's black. So like, but I said this many times before that majority of people vote two ways. And even if they use $40 words and all of that, it comes down to these two things. It always comes down to these two things. And as I journeyed in life, I realized that is the truth. So the two things come down to people either vote with their wallet or vote with their emotions. Those are the only two ways that people vote. You can come up with all these fancy reasons. Like I said, you can use $40 words, whatever, whatever. But if you turn around and actually talk to somebody, it comes down to emotion or money. That's how that normally goes. And it's crazy because most people that know me too, they know I watch a lot of different podcasts. I watch different people's opinions and different takes. And I struggle with that sometimes because I said certain things before I may watch a person's podcast and they'll say something that I thought. So now I cannot do a video releasing it because that it looks like I'm copying or whatever the case may be. That's a little struggle I deal with too. That's why I might not shoot a lot of videos at times. I know there was a little hiatus, and I did my video yesterday that, talked about my son's birthday. Please check it out. But that I was watching Angry Man. Shout out to Angry Man. Shout out to the Beano Nation, no doubt. You know, he said something very interesting because I always had a take because my thing was, as somebody who watches things from the clouds, and if people watch my first video, you understood what I said when coming back on social media and stuff. I would watch things from the clouds, and I'd be confused. Like I would look things from the outside. Like I wouldn't be one way or the other. I just look at how things are. And he brought up a good point. And the point he brought up was, why do people hate Trump so much? And I had my own reason. And my own reason is, if you understand politics a little bit, majority of politicians are ran by lobbyists. So, so in other words, whoever funds that candidate, they got to do their interest. And that's no matter what side of the fence that you're on. That's just how things operate. So, I always thought because Trump had more money than, I don't know, I can't even do a comparison, but he had more money than whatever the case may be. How you bribing him? What lobbyist is going to put him in position to do what he wants? So that's always been my thought process for a long time. But because I watched Angry Man's video the other day, it changed my thought process in a different way. But I wouldn't even say in a bad way. I just really thought about it. And he said that people want to be sold to. So in other words, if you understand sales, that people want you to sell them on whatever it is. Like I said, no matter what your opinion is, people want to be sold on it. So with that, because how he worded it, because like I said, I'm going to either paraphrase, I may mess up something, but that would be my source about what I'm about to say. Because I don't want to say the good things he pointed out and not give him credit. So what he was saying was, the correlation was that Bill Clinton was able to sell the public because people say unofficially he's the first black president because he was on Arsenio Hall. Half you guys are not even probably old enough to know Bill Clinton, but you can reference that. He was on Arsenio Hall playing the sax with his shades on and smoked a little weed and all of that. So people are like, yo, like he was able to sell whatever it was he's selling. He didn't really do nothing. I mean, he did the Deadbeat Dad Act, so like as a father, looking back, I didn't think it was gonna affect me. But at the time when he was doing it, I was very young. I had no kids, no nothing, whatever. So, but that Deadbeat Dad Act has, looking at it, 2024 has messed up a lot of people. He put that into play. I mean, I got the sentiment from that time era, but now 2024 doesn't really apply. But nevertheless, he was able to sell to the public whatever his message is. Obama, the same thing. Like he jumped out the car, dapping up everybody, played ball, smoked Newports. You know what I'm saying? Like had some kids, had a wife, had a cookout. I think he settled a dispute. I know somebody in the comment section or people that'll see me personally, they'll probably correct me if I'm wrong. I forgot what the beef was, but they had a beer conference. You know what I mean? Black folks settle shit with beer. Yo, let's get some drinks and shit, and let's talk about it. Let's chill and shit, and we hash the shit out. But Obama was able to sell to the public. That's what they liked about these two candidates. Trump is not as crazy as it sounds. He's not a salesman, and what he was saying is that's why the media was. He's not a politician, so that means with a politician sells whatever it is, whether you like the politician or you don't. They're salesmen. At the end of the day, they're salesmen. They're trying to slang something, like because obviously, like you got things like drug dealers. They ain't got to do that much selling because the product sells itself. All you need is people that are willing to get high. There you go. But these guys are selling a dream or whatever. Like shout out to Coach Greg Adams because it was something he said. Because this is a combination of the thoughts that made my thought process change. He was talking about. He was like, "Yo, remember the people that probably done this? They'll probably remember when you ran for school elections, like school president, secretary, whatever, whatever." And you would get up in front of the school. You'd be like, yo, I'm putting candy bars and all the vending machines, no homework and all that. That shit's bullshit. Like, there's no way. There's no way a school's going to allow you to conduct school with no homework, extended recess, school trip to for us New Yorkers, a school trip to Great Adventure and whatever, and it's gonna be paid out to school funds and no parent gotta pay for it and all that. They're saying all that stuff to get the position. So it's like that stuff imitates as us being kids, it just imitates into adulthood. That's like my little joke when I say adults are like big ass toddlers. They do reactions with toddlers and all that. Same shit. But nevertheless, these were just my thoughts that I was thinking. And I know I rarely touch on politics and things like that because, I probably tiptoe through tulips because, the people that do watch me, I respect their opinions and things like that. So I try not to rock the boat. But it was just like something like this is just so crazy that I had to say something. And even if it's a neutral standpoint, I have to say something and point it out to people and look at the similarities. Like, even then, when I talked about the whole wrestling thing with politics, it's not just that. Like, even sports, I dare say, like, I was chilling with my crew, my YouTube crew. Shout out to I Want Keto, shout out to Chemistry 3000. We were sitting up having a meeting and we were just talking. And we were talking about LeBron James' son and all that stuff. Like how he got into the NBA and the picks and whatever. And I'm not a big sports person, so A couple of people that know me very intimate, they know that I'm more of a wrestling fan, more of a UFC. So I really don't know basketball like that. But we were at the Roadhouse, and matter of fact, my boy Travis heard me say it. Shout out to Travis. You know what I mean? He's probably gonna watch this. He's gonna laugh because I see him once a week. You know, I go there once a week, do my research, whatever. But lately, I've been having my YouTube crew come through, and we chop it up. We come up with editing things, video ideas, things like that. So as we were talking about LeBron James and his son, that LeBron was a free agent, and he was kind of like, if you draft my son, then I'll sign, or whatever the case may be. That that he would go along, so it'll be a father and son thing. And you know what's funny? They had that in the wrestling world. I believe my wrestling bros, they'll correct me on this. They'll watch this, they'll correct me on it because it's been a minute. But I believe it was Mr. Perfect and his son were the first father and son that won the Intercontinental Championship. So obviously you got a father and son playing on the same team. And I guess how it was explained to me was by the numbers that Bronny James shouldn't be drafted at the level he was drafted at. Like I said, I really have no opinion on it because I don't know the NBA like that. But I sat back and I said, you know what? What would be the more perfect storyline and everything else like that? The Lakers winning the championship. Because I don't think in history you have championship winners that the father and son were on the same team. Like, and I said, not for nothing. If that happens, I just proved to you the NBA is booked like the WWE. Triple H, my guy, you need to hire these people. These people are brilliant. They come up with these storylines, and that's the whole thing with the whole wrestling thing, if you will, that that they hook your emotions so you're emotionally involved in that character. So yeah, father and son win the NBA championship. What greater story is to be told than LeBron James retires and go off into the sunset? Hey, if it happens, you know somebody is where you first heard it from, right here, right now, in July, where it's not even basketball season, just to show you how that plays. So, I guess that's pretty much it, what I want to talk about. I want to do something real quick because I'm really feeling the YouTube love and the momentum. So I'm just trying to keep it going, talk about my thoughts. But if you get a chance, check the similarities of what I'm talking about. Maybe I'll regenerate some wrestling fans again because it's crazy. Every time I talk to somebody who used to be a wrestling fan, it was normally when The Rock and Stone Cold and maybe a little John Cena-ish, but nobody watches the product today. So, I figure maybe it might reignite that excitement, watch Monday Night Raw and be like, oh, wow, that really is the same shit that's going on in the world right now. So a little satire, a little fun, a little bit of talking shit, whatever it is. So I'm not gonna keep you guys too long. Have a good night. Straight from the lounge. Thank you for your time. Keep the support. Like, comment, subscribe, and anybody that wants me to tackle a topic, and I keep saying this, just reach out to me. Let me know. Matter of fact, I'll even throw up another challenge. If you see a short that I should react to, like a clip, because like the internet's crazy. If you see any clip or anything else like that, please send it to me. I will turn around and do a reaction, and we'll have a little fun because even though I am the spokesman for the channel, this channel is everybody's channel. This is something, it's a forum, it's a lounge, it's a place where we can kick back and have different ideas and do different things, and we can grow this and make this into something that's great. So thank you guys. Love you guys. Shout out to my family, my loved ones. And let's keep the journey going. Thank you.